All right, welcome back. So let's talk about Blessing CEO first. Blessing CEO. Let's warm up small. Dear. We've got some big stories to cover, and we have some catch-ups to cover. Some of these stories, they might seem stale. Don't worry about it. The reason why you're here is because you want to hear my commentary on these stories. So we're gonna do exactly that. Okay, so I'm gonna play this short video. I think there's a short video. Let me see. Yes, there is a short video. So Blessing CEO was in the news over the past 1 or 2 days or so. Let me share my screen really quickly. There you go. Boom. Aha. There you go. Let's cover. Let's have some fun. Please participate in the chat if you're available. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this stuff. Pushback, smoke, all of that is welcome, please. That's how we learn, right? All right. So Blessing CEO was in the news. Pretty Mike and Blessing CEO was in the news. These two people are basically some of the topmost cloud chasers in Nigerian entertainment. Honestly, I don't even know what they do. I don't know what this. Well, Blessing CEO is self-proclaimed relationship expert. But I saw this and I'm like, you know me, I don't say things like this, but one of the many reasons, the first reason why I don't say things like this is because it's not who I am. I don't like, it's not me to body shame people. It's not who I am, right? So if you have an interesting body shape or anything like that, I can see, Junior 4, I can see, right? But I'm not necessarily going to say anything about it. I just find it interesting. I keep it moving. That's the number one reason. So that's not to cap at all, right? The second reason why I don't speak to that is because I don't know what people are going through. Some people already have that as part of their insecurities. And the last thing what I want to continue to be is motivational, okay? No, I don't shy away from motivational. I know some people frown at the idea of motivation. I don't care. Okay, I don't personally. Let me just tell you. I do what I benefit from. As much as I give, and I sow seeds, and I try my best to give. It's because I'm not here to cap. I also get a certain type of emotional satisfaction from uplifting other people. So at the end of the day, it's selfish. So let's just be frank about that. So they were in the news. I saw this small clip and I'm like, oh my God. I wouldn't say it, but he took it right out of my brain. So let me play it. Let's see.
Why?
Cause that's my girl.
Okay.
I've seen her from 0 to 100. She's my family.
And she's really pretty. I feel like hers also in her face.
So which is your worst?
It's my persona. The worst right now is Blessing CEO.
Drink. No comments.
Of course. You know why I will say Coco by Chloe?
Why?
Cause that's my girl.
Okay.
I've seen her from 0 to 100. She's my family.
And she's really pretty.
All right, so what are they talking about? They're talking about BBLs, okay? People that have done BBL, they've done body, blah, 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 enhancements here and there, and majority of people that do body enhancement, majority of the ones that I've come in contact with, I can almost tell almost immediately. I don't know what the numbers are, but it also seems like people that tend to do excessive body enhancements. Listen, people do body enhancements. Even men these days, they're putting wig on their head, right? And who am I to judge anybody for doing that? But excessive, when people do excessive, what is excessive? That's also subjective, right? Well, I'm just going to go by my own judgment. Right? Excessive is if I can see four corner, or if it's almost going in the direction of four corner. Okay. All right. Excessive. It's more important than me agreeing with what he just said, because he said the worst off of just visuals, right? He said the worst, right? Is Blessing CEO. I have to agree with that. But it's even beyond that. It almost, so these are the reasons why people they're never satisfied with this body enhancement stuff, right? Again, it goes back to anything aesthetics or money driven, anything that's It's either money or they don't last. Just like a lot of things in life, right? They can only go so far. You can only go so far with them, right? In terms of as it relates to happiness, right? People want to be happy. I get it. And who am I to stop anybody from being happy? And I promise I'm not being on the fence about this. This way, Mr. Allah, your face says it all. Yeah, I was trying to be nice, because I really believe that a lot of people go through internal struggles, right? A lot of people go through internal struggles, and sometimes the way it shows up is seeking outside external solutions to solve internal problems. And oftentimes it might solve it like temporarily, right? Like for example, if a man is chasing after money and he thinks it's going to be the source of his happiness or the source of all his solutions, especially relationship issues, like women don't want you just because you don't have money. Eventually, when you finish having that money, you're going to be yourself. It's the same thing with women, right? Same thing with women. Anything that looks like, but I also understand that in life we all have some kind of enhancement, maybe not on our body necessarily, but the idea of wanting things to be easier, simpler, faster is technology, all of this stuff, right? We all want, especially with respect to social construct. If everybody is saying yes, we are having it today, then let's stop the cap. Even me self, I go say, let me taste out of that thing small, right? But like Sparkle just said, Ashe Jubaba Ashite. What is Asheju? What is excessive? See, you and I, if you count 10 people, right, and you ask them their opinion and you say, is that makeup too much? If 9 out of 10 people, okay, if 7 out of 10 people are telling you, oh, that's a lot of makeup, then you gotta start paying attention, right? You have to pay attention. We have to pay attention to that. So even though it's subjective, we can almost guess and say, okay, this is too much. And as in everything should be in modesty, right? So anyway, I didn't really pay attention to Blessing CEO much. So now I've paid attention. Maybe that's what she thinks maybe people like her, not her in particular, right? Maybe people like her now think the attention they're getting is the answer they've been looking for. But you know what they say about where they do wo, right? There's just some things that it's just like, and then when we start crossing the line, when you start tampering with your body, right? Potentially infection, potentially you're dealing with people that don't know what they're doing, right? Then we have to just call a spade, right? You have to be careful. You have to be very, very careful out there. But Pretty Mike, yeah, he has no filters. He just went straight for the jugglers there. Let me see here. Let me see. This one is clearer.
BL, and what's your worst BBL? I have to give us names.
Of course. You know what?
He said, what's the worst BBL? I said, what? You have to give us names. Let's see.
I will say Coco by Chloe.
Why?
I don't know who Coco by Chloe is, but yeah.
Cause that's my girl.
Okay.
I've seen her from 0 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
She's my family.
And she's really pretty. I feel like hers is also in her face.
So which is your worst?
It's La Persona. The worst right now is Blessing CEO.
Drink. No comments. What's your favorite BBL and what's your worst BBL? I have to give us names.
Of course.
That girl said no comments. She said no comments. Really. Let's see. Mr. Allah, would you personally be averse to the idea of your wife having any form of surgical enhancement? What is excessive in your view? This is a good question. It depends, right? It depends, right? Ultimately, it's her decision, okay? But I want to be very careful with this because some people will take that, they run with it and say he doesn't have any control. Well, first of all, I don't care about having control. That's number one. I actually think that's a curse word now when it comes to relationship control, okay? And if you don't believe me, just look at your results. Control is a curse word. You are swearing. If you are talking about control when it comes to romantic relationships, influence is what you should be looking to achieve. You should be looking to learn how to influence. That's where your power lies. Okay. Now, so I do believe that I have influence over my She kind of knows what I like, right? She knows that I don't like excessive. She has a good idea of what excessive is for me, right? So in spite of all of that, if she concludes that she needs to do some kind of surgical body enhancement or stuff like that, it's a conversation. It's a conversation for me coming from a supportive place. Like, really, you think that's what you need right now? Right? That will be the direction of the conversation, right? And but I believe that influence is much more powerful than control, and that's going to be something that she would pay attention to. Hold on one second. So yeah, it will have to be a conversation. There's no one moment that ever determine. There's no one moment or one event that determine everything when it comes to our relationship. She didn't just wake up one day and start thinking surgical. She might have been into it. She's been talking about it. She might be touching one part of her body and say, But for me, like, see, I move a little bit differently from a lot of guys out there. All the what you might want to call the beautiful part of a woman that has had kids, right? 4 kids, like stretch marks, all those kind of things. I find those things extremely sexy, right? So now, if you asked me before I was married if I found them sexy, I'm not. Nobody ever asked me that question when I was much younger, so I don't know, But it's like, when they said they are aging like wine, that's literally my experience. That's how I feel, okay? And I don't think it has anything to do with particularly aesthetic, what people look like, what body part, body shape. I think it has to do with you get to know a person and they become a part of who you are, and it's like it has nothing to do with looks. I guess people might say I'm lucky because maybe they think my wife is pretty, but yeah, I think a lot of it is influence. Pay attention to influence, and if she still determines that she needs to do that, in spite of knowing that, I'm actually particular about that. I want things in modesty, in one-to-one, right? That's how I'm built personally, and I think she moves that way. When they say a way back, she tends to finish my sentences. I tend to finish her sentences. We tend to, like, over time, it's grown more and more like that, right? Because we're around each other a lot, So yeah, it's that's the angle I will come from. Now, so for some wild reasons, she decided that that's what she wants to do. I would just have to be there to support her all the way through, and I have a feeling it wouldn't be a big deal. It just depends on what we're talking about. If it's like an extreme, that we're also alluding to the fact that my wife completely changed on me. That's something I'm not familiar with, right? Then we have to deal with that when we get to that junction at that point in time, But yes, that's how I will handle that. But yeah, when I saw this I don't know, I don't want to spend too much time on this. Let's just move right on to the next story. That's Blessing CEO for her. Shout out to her. Hopefully she finds what she's looking for